What if the chaos of life could be met with calm? What if anger, fear, and anxiety could be tamed not by changing the world, but by changing ourselves? Welcome to Famous Stoics, lessons from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. In the next 20 minutes, we'll explore the lives, struggles, and timeless wisdom of three of history's most influential Stoic philosophers. Their thoughts have echoed across centuries, shaping leaders, writers, and seekers of inner peace. And today, their insights are more relevant than ever. But first, what exactly is Stoicism? Originating in ancient Greece, Stoicism is a practical philosophy built not around abstract theories, but real-world resilience. It teaches us to focus only on what we can control, our thoughts, action, and responses, while letting go of what we cannot. The past, the opinions of others, even death. At its core, Stoicism teaches three key ideas. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. Live in accordance with nature and virtue. Train your mind to face adversity calmly and courageously. And who better to guide us through this mindset than three men who lived it? Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled an empire while grappling with doubt and loss. Seneca, a wealthy Roman statesman and playwright who wrestled with power, ambition, and morality. And Epictetus, a former slave who taught emperors and ordinary citizens alike to be free in mind and spirit. Let's begin our journey with a man who held the fate of an empire in his hands and still found time to reflect on life's deepest questions. Music shifts gently to a thoughtful tone. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. Imagine waking each day knowing that millions depend on your leadership, that wars, famines, betrayals, and plagues could strike at any moment, that your enemies might be in your court, and your own mortality just around the corner. Marcus Aurelius lived that reality. Born in 121 AD, he was groomed from a young age to rule. Yet despite his immense power, Marcus remained humble. He never saw himself as a god or above the laws of nature. Instead, he turned inward, journaling his thoughts and questions in what would become his greatest gift to us, meditations. Meditations wasn't written for the world. It was Marcus speaking to himself, reminding, correcting, and comforting his soul. One of his most famous reflections reads, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength." It's a line that could save someone from despair. When everything seems to be falling apart, when people disappoint us, when illness strikes, or when goals remain out of reach, Marcus tells us, look within. Another powerful lesson from Marcus is the idea of impermanence. He wrote, "Soon you will have forgotten all things. Soon all things will have forgotten you." To some, this may sound grim, but Marcus wasn't being morbid. He was freeing us. If life is short, why waste time on anger? If we're here briefly, why not live honestly, with courage and kindness? He faced the death of his children, the betrayal of friends, the burden of command, and yet he never stopped trying to be good. His example teaches us this. Strength is not the absence of pain, it's a decision to endure with grace. While Marcus Aurelius ruled from the highest seat of power, Seneca lived in the stormy center of Roman politics. Born around 4 BC in Cordoba, Hispania, modern-day Spain, Seneca was a philosopher, playwright, and advisor to one of Rome's most notorious emperors, Nero. Seneca's life was full of contradictions. He preached about simplicity, yet lived with luxury. He advised moderation, but served a mad tyrant. How do we reconcile the man with his philosophy? Perhaps the answer lies in his letters, dozens of them, written to his friend Lucilius. These letters to Lucilius are rich with Stoic thought and emotional honesty. One of the most well-known lines comes from these writings. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca urges us to examine how we spend our days. Are we chasing empty pleasures, obsessing over fame, arguing about things that don't matter? He believed time was our most precious asset, and wasting it was the greatest foolishness. He also wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. How many times have we worried ourselves sick about things that never even happened? Seneca teaches us that most of our fear is fiction. It lives in the future, not the present. And if we focus on the now, with calm, clarity, and reason, we can handle almost anything. despite his wealth and status. Seneca constantly reminded himself of life's fragility. He practiced voluntary discomfort, fasting, sleeping on hard floors, walking barefoot, to train his mind be ready for loss. He called this preparing for misfortune. It wasn't pessimism. It was strength training for the soul. But Seneca's life was not without controversy. As Nero's advisor, he tried to guide the young emperor toward virtue, but eventually failed, caught in political turmoil. Seneca was forced to take his own life. He met death with courage and composure, writing and consoling his friends until his final breath. His story is a reminder that Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about the pursuit of wisdom, even in a broken world. It's about rising above fear, even when surrounded by danger. It's about living on your terms, even when the end is near. Epictetus was born around 55 AD, not into wealth or nobility, but into slavery. His name itself comes from the Greek word for acquired or owned. But while his body was bound, his spirit was not. He eventually gained his freedom and became one of the most influential Stoic teachers in history. Not through politics, not through wealth, but through the power of his mind. Epictetus didn't write books himself. What we know of his teachings comes from a student named Arrian, who recorded his master's lectures in works like the Discourses in the small but powerful handbook, the Enchiridion, meaning a tool for the hand. One of his most famous teachings is also one of the most practical. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. This single idea became the foundation of Epictetus' entire philosophy. He said, we should never waste our peace of mind worrying about what is not in our control. Other people's actions, the past, the future, even our own bodies or reputation. Instead, we should focus only on our own choices, our judgments, our actions, our responses. He asked, who is your master? And he answered, not your owner, not your employer, not your ruler, but your desires. If you desire things outside your control, you become a slave again. But if you desire only virtue, courage, justice, self-discipline, you become free. He said, it's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about them. In other words, it's not what happens to us that causes suffering, but how we interpret it. You lose your job. It's not the end of the world. You're insulted. It's just a sound in the air. You're sick. Then now is the time to practice patience. He believed in the power of hardship to strengthen the soul. He asked, do you not know that life is a military service? One must keep watch, another go out to reconnoiter, another stand on guard, another fight. It is not possible for one and the same person to do everything.